watching Sunday Sound Off with Mick Schaefer.
Welcome back to Sunday Sound Off and our first hot topic of the night. What's the first thing you want to know from Clark Hunt tomorrow? You guys weighed in on the Twitter and the Facebook throughout the night. Therese, there's Dorsey, there's Veach, there's Mahomes, there's Tamba, there's Macklin, there's St. Joe. Is your notebook full of questions? Full of questions?
Absolutely, and a lot of them are going to be directed toward Clark Hunt. My story last month, I did outline the reasons for Dorsey's dismissal, had to do with lack of communication issues, management style. But what I do want to know is, why did this happen now instead of a few months ago? I want to know what changed. I want to know what happened. I want to know what the issue was. Something had to come up for this to be the timing. They were discussing an extension at the time. Something happened. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna find out what did happen.
Cody, what questions will you be interrupting Therese's questions with?
What he's bringing to camp, you know, seat cushion, pillow from home.
Big box fan,
yeah, mostly there. No, it's not just the timing of it. You want to know what the relationship was like before, because they were in such a, it seemed like everything was going fine. Andy Reid got the extension, and I think everyone's immediate thought was, okay, Dorsey's right behind it. And I also want to know from Clark Hunt how much decision-making Andy Reid had in this. From the sounds of it, most people are saying this was Clark Hunt's decision. But I'm not fooled to think that he didn't at least bring it up to Andy Reid before he got there. And when the second John Dorsey's gone, it makes me feel like someone didn't go to bat for him. So I want to know who else was involved in this process and why the evaluation process, as he says, takes so long.
Saran, final say. We've been anticipating this day for, what, two weeks now, I guess.
I don't know. I might leave with something like, what are you thinking? Like, what were you thinking? This is a PR disaster. I mean, you don't fire a general manager and not address your fans. You know, you can't slobber all over yourself talking about how great your fans are and how much you love your fans, and then fire a general manager, give no reasons why, hire a general manager, still not come up for air for 2 weeks, and now you're going to try to rush these two things together. You're going to have one press conference to address the Dorsey thing, which is good. Trust me, because if they did it all at once, it would be a disaster. We've seen that when Dayton Moore's press conference came around and they hadn't addressed the firing of Allard Baird when Dayton Moore came to Kansas City. So, look, I'll give him credit for at least getting that part of that part of the scenario kind of right. But Clark Hunt should have been speaking long ago. And I'd like to know just what great vacation he's been on that he didn't think there was time to squeeze in the Chiefs fans.
They own an island, right? I mean,
that's what I hear.
It's been the whole month of July.
I haven't visited, but I hear that, yeah.
Here's our second hot topic of the evening. What's the biggest questions the Chiefs have to answer at training camp? Cody, up first here. That's the good thing, I guess. Not a whole lot of holes on this team.
Well, wide receiver is the most glaring one, obviously. Once they cut Jeremy Macklin, and again have given no answer for why they cut Jeremy Macklin, that will be a big question mark. But mostly it's about Alex Smith and how much further he can take this team. The question is he really good enough to get him as far as the Chiefs think? His allergy to the end zone, at least the last couple of seasons, has been a big hindrance for where they got. They went to a playoff game and didn't allow a touchdown and lost a game at home. At home. How far the offense can go is how far this team can go. And if they have enough weapons around Alex Smith, I think there's questions about that. But there's always, in the end, about how far Alex Smith takes this team. Because if he didn't take him far enough, it doesn't matter. If he can't play, if he can't get in the end zone more than 16 times, it doesn't matter.
Allergy to the end zone. We like that. I'm going to give you 10 points. I'm going to get a buzzer next time. You get 10 points. What do you see there, Saran?
Well, look, I love my friend Cody Tapp there. He's completely wrong on this one. Not even in the ballpark. First of all, can Alex Smith take a step forward? No, we know that. That question's been answered for years. He is what he is. He's not going to be anything more than he is. So if we look at it from that standpoint, I think really the first question is Tom Mahaly going to fight Justin Houston and Eric Berry and all the guys who didn't show up at OTAs? I think that's kind of funny because he called all those guys out. After that, the real serious question about football, and because the quarterback's not going to get any better, because the offense is not going to become top 5 or top 10, which people had hopes for last year, it's going to be middle of the pack at best and take care of the football. Can they become a wrecking crew on defense? They've got to sack the quarterback better. Can Tom Mahaly and Justin Houston put their differences aside? Can Dee Ford take a step up? Can they go from 28 sacks to the 47 sacks or even more? 47's what they had in 2015. If they don't really punish the other team's quarterbacks. This team is just going to be the same addition or worse that they've been for the last few years. A good team that doesn't scare anybody with a real quarterback in the playoffs.
All right, Therese, you're closer than anybody. What position, what person is the biggest key here?
You guys did a good job mentioning the quarterback and the receiver, so I'm going to handle the big guys, all right? Listen, the offensive line, they need to get better in short yardage situations. These guys needed to get stronger this offseason because if the Chiefs can run the ball better, that'll help the offense go to the next level. On the defensive side of the ball, look, the Chiefs have to do better at stopping the run. Teams ran the ball down their throats toward the end of the year last year. And they did it even when Derek Johnson was on the field. So, look, there needed to be some development in that area, too. Because if the Chiefs don't improve against the run, they're going to have the same team as last year. Good enough to have 10-plus wins, not good enough to win a playoff game.
All right, finally here, our final hot topic. Do you believe the Royals are a playoff team? Seren, we talk about the Royals' devil magic of 2014 and 15. Well, they never won 4 walk-off games in a week.
So now, wait a minute. Should they buy or sell? You called a tired topic last week.
Yes.
And now you've come up with this incredibly brilliant subject of, are they a playoff team?
I spent seconds on that.
And didn't, if I'm not mistaken, didn't green, white, checker, no, wait a minute, yellow, green, white, yellow on the race earlier today?
We had a time with Seren. Did we wrap him up? Are we good?
That washed you out. You had nothing but time. Of course they're a playoff team. This is the core that went to the World Series in 14, won it in 15. They absolutely are. The bottom line is they've got to find a fifth starter, and they've got to find some relievers. If they don't have those things, no, they're not going to be good enough. Travis Wood simply isn't good enough as that fifth starter, and they're going to have to get better there. They're doing a great job of finding a way to win games and come from behind fashion, which we know is one of their real specialties. They're better than anybody in baseball at it right now, which is what they do. However, they're going to have to get more starting pitching to get there. They don't need a guy to pitch for them. I think they've got guys that are good enough with an expanded bullpen to get them there as far as the starters go, but they're going to need somebody to get them there, and then they need another power arm in the bullpen.
Therese, I know one of those walk-offs came at the expense of your Tigers. I apologize for that, but the Royals are must-see TV this week.
Yeah, the Tigers stink, so forget them. Okay, we're giving away our best players for nothing. So, look, yes, the Royals are a playoff team, and guess what? I think they need to add to it. The bottom line is that this core won a World Series together. They've been to 2 together. They deserve a chance to get to a 3rd one. So that means you give them everything that they need to get there, or at least have a chance. Look, guys, the rebuilding process is coming for the Royals, okay? It's coming. Enjoy the last few months you've got with this team. Give them a shot because they've earned it. Give them a shot to go the whole way one more time.
All right, what about you, Cody? Post-game shows must be so much fun to do these days.
They are, and until they buy, they aren't. They're a playoff team in the sense that once they make that addition that Seren talks about, I think they can get there. The problem is they've been very good. Obviously, they're 13 games over 500 since May 1st, which makes a huge difference for them. But in that time, we talk about run differential, they're plus 16. There are a lot of these close wins. They're not all walk-off fashion, but there are a ton of close wins. They got to find a way to get a few in hand, and the way they do that is to get the runs early, like today, 3-0, and hold the lead, unlike today, when it became 3-3 in a hurry with Travis Wood. You can't start Travis Wood every 5th day and be a playoff team, but this team is one addition away from serious contention, especially if Gordon, and Moss, and Escobar all continue to hit at the bottom of the line. They have 12 homers in their last 10 innings or 10. It's insane, Nick. I mean, they're on a roll. It's close, but they need another piece.
All right, up next.